Picture this. It's a normal Saturday evening in Karachi. The Gina Road is buzzing with activity, just like any other night. But then, as dusk starts to settle, a different kind of sound shatters the routine, the piercing sirens of fire engines racing towards a city landmark.
And then, the news flashes across the city. Gul Plaza, a huge, sprawling shopping center, is on fire. What started as just a spark is about to become a raging inferno.
And the stakes? They couldn't be higher. We're talking about over 1,200 shops inside that building, the livelihoods of thousands of people, all in immediate danger. So let's break down how a single spark could lead to a crisis this big.
So you have to wonder, how does a fire get this bad this fast? Well, it all started with just one little spark. You see, right from the get-go, this was no ordinary fire. The authorities immediately gave it a third-degree classification. Now that's basically code for a major blaze. An incident so severe, it needs a massive citywide emergency response. This wasn't just a shop fire, it was a full-blown crisis.
And the speed of this thing, it was absolutely stunning. Okay, so at 5:15 p.m., the fire kicks off in an artificial flower shop on the ground floor. Just 7 minutes later, even with shopkeepers trying to fight it themselves, the flames have already jumped to the next store. Fueled by all the flammable goods, the entire ground floor is engulfed in what feels like the blink of an eye, and the fire just starts climbing, racing all the way up to the third floor.
But as the building was burning, there was this whole other story unfolding inside, a real human drama. Let's take a look at the eyewitness accounts from the very heart of the blaze.
As the fire raged, the power was suddenly cut, plunging the entire plaza into total darkness and chaos. The best estimate, around 100 people, shopkeepers, staff, were now trapped inside this smoky, terrifying maze.
So panic is setting in. How do you possibly get out? Well, for one group, salvation came from a pretty unexpected place. A survivor later said, "The gate of the Noorani Mosque inside Gul Plaza is made of iron. We had to break it to get everyone out and escape." I mean, can you even imagine the desperation? Having to smash through a metal gate inside a mosque just to find a path to safety? For other people, the escape was even more dangerous. They were trapped on the upper floors, exits totally blocked by thick smoke and fire. So they made a life-or-death choice. They actually jumped from the roof of Gul Plaza over to the roof of the next building, Rimpa Plaza, and from there, they managed to find a ramp and scrambled their way down to the street. A truly harrowing escape. So while you've got people fighting for their lives inside, a whole different battle was being waged on the streets below. But as the firefighters arrived, they ran into their own set of massive challenges.
It was just a nightmare scenario where it felt like the city itself was working against them. First off, massive construction projects had created total gridlock, which meant crucial water tankers were delayed. Then, right in the middle of the rescue, a fire brigade ladder actually broke, injuring 2 of the responders. All the while, the insane heat was weakening the building's support pillars, raising this terrifying possibility of a total collapse. And that fear, it became a reality when a part of the building's rear structure did give way during the operation.
And look, these logistical problems weren't just stories. The CEO of the water corporation, Asadullah Khan, confirmed it himself. He said, "Water tankers got stuck in traffic jams at Guru Mandir. We had to establish supply from 3 separate water hydrants." So they weren't just fighting the fire, they were fighting the city's own infrastructure.
Once the fire was finally brought under control, that's when the true cost of this disaster really started to sink in, both in terms of financial ruin and a chilling new assessment of the building itself. The financial toll is, well, it's almost impossible to really wrap your head around. The estimated value of everything lost, the goods, the property, the livelihoods of over 1,000 families, billions of Pakistani rupees, all of it just turned to ash.
And remember, behind that huge abstract number is just immense personal tragedy. Just listen to the words of one shopkeeper standing there in the middle of the wreckage. "My entire shop is gone. Everything is destroyed. Our goods are lying here burned. Billions of rupees in losses for people." You can just feel the devastation in his voice.
And then, of course, there's the most tragic cost of all. The final reports confirmed that 5 people lost their lives in the blaze, 20 other people were injured, and that's on top of the 2 rescuers who got hurt when their ladder failed.
You know, in the aftermath of a tragedy like this, the focus always shifts. You start to hear promises, but you also start to hear some really hard questions about systemic failure.
So on one side, you have the official response.
The governor of Sindh showed up at the scene and promised that every possible support will be provided to the affected traders and shopkeepers. But on the other side, you have activists pointing to a much deeper problem. As Munim Zafar from Jamaat-e-Islami Karachi put it very bluntly, there's no mechanism in the building by which citizens can remain safe.
And Zafar's critique, it points to this deeper, more frustrating pattern. He says committees are formed, but no work is done. This really suggests the Gul Plaza fire wasn't just some isolated tragedy, but the result of a long, long history of failing to act. And this is the statistic that puts that entire critique into shocking perspective. The Gul Plaza fire wasn't a freak accident. It was just one of more than 2,500 fire incidents reported in Karachi in just the last year and a half. 2,500. Which really brings us to the final unavoidable question here. This isn't just about one building or one tragic night. It's about a clear pattern. After thousands of fires and countless warnings, you just have to ask, when will the city finally learn its lesson?